all the things that come. So start off with just an introduction about field tennis. Basically it's a 3D tennis game playing in iOS. It took 8 months to ship the game from concept. We had 5 artists running, yours truly, and one developer. Rohit is my super business partner. He is the only programmer in the team till now, recently got one. And he has from scratch designed and developed all our games, including all our game engine, all the tech. He has built it single-handedly. So I would love a clap for that. So if most of you have not probably played the game because it's priced 3.99 or 1.99, and in India we don't believe in paying for stuff which we like. So I'll just show you a short sort of a video which will give you a gist for the sake of interest of people who have played. Right, so that was our game, sort of a trailer that we created after one night sort of just because we had released the game and we had no trailers, so the quality is not that great, but yeah, whatever. So how did we come about the game concept, right? So we were decided, we've already created a squash game and a badminton game. So racket sports is going to be our kind of area that we're going to target. So we knew we had to make a tennis game next. So call was between table tennis and tennis, and we thought now we have the guts enough to take on the big players on the Indian tennis circuit, because there were already popular tennis games out there from Gameloft and Gamers On. So we thought that, you know, now it's time we need to show that we can make good stuff. And the kind of what we always wanted to and which motivates us to create new games is do something new, give something new to the users which they have not seen. Right? That's the mantra that we go by. And when we started the concept and we started our research, we started playing different games. That's the usual process that we follow. That we, you know, do play a lot of games in the kind of category that we're trying to aim. And what we found was that the sports games and in general, not even tennis games, lack a general purpose. A purpose for a player to connect to the player that he's going to be or take the role. You know, there is a career mode in which you bring the you connect with the player, but usually the career modes that are present in sports games are the way you progress in your career, and that's pretty much about it, right? Sports is not just winning and losing at the career. Sports is full of emotions, and that's what was missing in most of the sports games that we found. Right? And you know, we've seen so many movies where the underdog story, the friendship, the rivalries, they are always taken as, you know, it's almost like a cliche. You know, every sports movie you see, the underdog always wins. And you know, so why not create? Why this has not been replicated in, you know, the same kind of emotions and feelings? Why hasn't this been replicated in a sports game? Why we don't capture that? So the aim was to somehow give the user that experience that he feels in probably, you know, watching the movie E3, Mighty Ducks is a Walt Disney movie. I don't know if most of you have seen that. It's about a high school ice hockey team, and yeah, they went to a college and stuff like that. So I love that movie. And Rocky, the underdog of the movie. So we wanted to give that feeling of the underdog winning to the users. So that was the main motivation. That's how we came around with the concept of creating a game where you will play the role of a tennis prodigy who has to go through a lot of ups and downs, and to win his place in his college tennis team, then move on to the inter-college rivalries, make friends, rivals, there are enmities, there's a girlfriend. So all those things we put into, like we say, you can't take Bollywood out of an Indian, so we put all the masala in. So let's talk about how we came around. Before even we decided on the game concept, we knew we had to make a tennis game. So we decided we need to design a basic mechanic, a basic game mechanic that needs to revolve, the game needs to revolve around that. So we knew from the very beginning, 8 months before we released the game, that there's going to be a single mechanic around which the game is going to work. And that was the flick or the swipe that the iPhone and the iPad or the touch devices possess. So just to give you a brief, that you have various kinds of iOS, if you have used iOS or Android devices, there is Tilt, where you play usually your car racing games, which uses the accelerometer. You have the D-pad and the virtual joysticks and the buttons. You try to simulate the console feeling on a touch device. That's the kind of usual controls that you have. You have the gesture-based, like in Fruit Ninja, you use a swipe, and then you have the line drawings, right? And there are touch-based, which in the music the genre is quite popular. And then we have combos. This is actually a screenshot of our game, our previous game, Super Badminton, where we thought we had invented a new combo sort of a feeling, where we had a D-pad and buttons, and to move the shuttle, you actually had to tilt your iPad to left or the right to give that direction to the shot. Right? So we thought, brilliant, this is the most brilliant game that we could have ever come up with. So, but one of the reviews which stuck in our head was, tilting your handset sets the direction of a volley mid-swing. The player's movements are governed by the D-pad. Alas, only patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time would be so that was a sort of a wake-up call that what we trying to achieve. You know, you can't do that. It's not simple enough. We got the attention of the sort of the hardcore gamers as such, because they loved the virtual D-pad and the buttons, but what we couldn't really capture the console market, and that was actually we asked both Rohit and me. We showed it to our family. They said, patted on our back and said, brilliant game, and then next second they're playing some other game. They said, we don't know how to play it. It's too difficult. So that was like, okay man, I mean, if I'm making a game and not everyone can play it, that's just wrong. You know, the market is different. You have to get over your console hand while designing games for mobile devices. So it was still not bad. We got 1 million downloads of Super Badminton and we still maintain 3 out of 5. So customers are not really that pissed off with us, but they're not really happy either. 3 out of 5 is average. Moderate good. So then we thought that, right, when we have to design tennis, the purpose of designing tennis would be that it should be 10 or 20 seconds max and the person should be able to start playing the game. Right? That should be the aim. Easy to learn, hard to master. So what we came up with was, let's use the swipe gesture, and so you can call it swipe, you can call it flick, where how you solve that problem is that you swipe the position, from the position you want to hit the ball, and you give it direction to the opponent's court, and a line appears that gives users the feedback that the ball is traveling in a particular direction. So you simply swipe across the screen wherever you want to hit the ball. Simple, right? We knew that this is the way to make the tennis game, but we didn't know how we're going to make it, because designing the gameplay around it would be very difficult. So how did we start solving these problems? First of all, we had to remove the buttons. The buttons didn't have to be. So you have swipe, you play the normal shot, normal tennis shot, but then how do we solve it? Because tennis is a very complex game. It has different shots. It has a lob, it has a slice, it has a drop. So multi-touch was the solution. So if you want to hit a shot, let's say a slice shot, so you would just take 2 fingers instead of 1 and swipe across the screen, and that will be your slice shot. If you want to play a drop shot, wherever you want to hit the shot, just draw a line from there to your plane. In the reverse direction, you will hit the drop. And lob, again, 2 fingers. So we kind of identified, how we can remove the buttons. This required a lot of play testing, and we couldn't get it right the first time. A lot of fights within the team, every second, basically I'm the guy who fought. I'm the console hangover person. And Rohit was the flick, big advocate of the flick. Just because you go to GDC, you get these ideas that you know everything. So he bet and I don't. So we solved the button problem by adding multiple swipes, and how we gave the users feedback was obviously different colors. A line would be drawn to give users the feedback that they've played a different shot. Now the biggest challenge was actually removal of the D-pad or the virtual joysticks. How do you make the player move, right? Again, this is a very contentious topic. We thought, we'll have a D-pad and for hitting the shot, we'll use the swipe mechanic. So that would work. We play tested it. It didn't work. It was a shitty experience. Then what we thought was, let's make the player movement absolutely totally automatic. And the player just has to swipe, and different types of swipes and different types of shots was enough for the tennis game to really putting it out there. But again, when we started, we thought, it has to be a realistic tennis experience. How do we give that? If the player is auto movement is there, then that thing is the realism is missing from something. So what we did was we watched a lot of YouTube, We watched a lot of tennis matches. We hung around Deccan Gymkhana, and there's a tennis court there. We hung around there, saw how the players actually behaved on the tennis court. We talked to friends who are tennis players or something.